Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a very interesting game. And politics is also a very dirty game. There is a story which made headlines today in the Daily Nation. And I want us to analyze that story. The 1 minute call by William Ruto to Rigathi Gachagua. But before we get into that phone call, I want us to talk about something very briefly. It seems William Ruto is a persona non grata in the mountain. And just like we predicted, Rigathi Gachagua is definitely going to kick William Ruto and his allies from the mountain. Earlier today, Susan Kihika and other leaders, including Oscar Sudi, attended some funeral in Bahati constituency. I think the brother to the Bahati member of parliament had passed on. And anybody who mentioned the word Ruto was heckled. I want you to watch this short clip of Susan Kihika being heckled, being stopped, being prevented from reading William Ruto's speech. Tomorrow we'll begin the day with that.
Riu ni ngumuroraga uguo ngarigwo riu hihi umuthi mugututwarithia atia mwatuma nginya amwe maremwo gukinya umuthi tondu anga thiku ici muri fireworks no tukauga atiriri we appreciate you tondu ni mutuheaga feedback njega niguo tukamenya haria turahitia nigetha tugacokia ruwiki no ndimuhoe ona kuhana oro uguo kuhana rimwe tugetikira no tukorwo tutira understand mundu areka uri areka niki no ndimuhoe muthie na mbere kunyitirira muheshimiwa Irene Choki tafadhali please niguo. Condolence message from His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Nakai toigue esa wange kira iwega toigue from His Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief. Nakai to celebrate my pole sana William Samoei Ruto. Thank you. Reure.
Oi, tusifanye makerere kwa sababu tuko kwa mazishi.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us get back to the main story today. The 1 minute phone call William Ruto placed to Rigathi Gachagua. I want to ask you, do you know what a 1 minute phone call mean and what it looks like? And we're talking of a president who had not spoken with his deputy for several months. Let me get through this statement. Let me take you through the statement. And by the way, before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And with the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, time is not on our side. Let me just go through the story, just part of it, before I give my own opinion about the 1 minute phone call. I'm going to read it verbatim from my phone. On Monday, October 7th, around 10:45 a.m., Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua received an important call. 10:45 a.m. around that time on 7th. What happened on the 7th day, if you remember? On 7th, Rigathi Gachagua addressed the nation, but he addressed the nation in the evening. So which means William Ruto placed this phone call to him before that address. Okay, then. So the article proceeds. At the time, Mr. Gachagua was in a meeting with close family members and his legal team at his current residence preparing for his address to the National Assembly during his impeachment proceedings the next day. Remember, the next day, which was on a Tuesday, Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to go and defend. By the time William Ruto was calling, he had issued a notice that he was going to address the nation. He addressed the nation today. Then the next day was Parliament. And it proceeds. It is the kind of a call that a man facing the battle of his lifetime, as he was, would have evoked mixed emotions. Either he was getting help at his hour of need, or his troubles were about to get worse. Because remember, Rigathi Gachagua had tried every other thing to stop this impeachment. He had even reached out to people like Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. I'm told he even tried reaching out to Raila Odinga, who was not available. He reached out to even church leaders. In fact, by the time William Ruto was making this call, he had just met with the religious leaders the previous day over the issue of Gachagua. So when Gachagua saw Ruto's phone call, he was like, okay, the boss is calling. Maybe this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. So it proceeds here. Online was President Ruto. Mr. Gachagua and his boss had not spoken for long since the last time they had met at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in July. We are in October. These guys had not met since July. Since July. They've been just evading each other since July. No phone calls, no talking. It proceeds. Mr. Gachagua will later reveal in subsequent media interviews, as the push to impeach him became public, that their encounter didn't end well. That encounter, the 1 minute, because I'm looking at President Ruto talking to Gachagua. What can they talk about that would last 1 minute? Even greeting, asking how is the family, how is Dorcas doing, how is, just because these were running mates. That alone would take more than 1 minute. But here, these guys, 1 minute, it was over. It didn't end well. This is why they called from his boss only hours to Gachagua's appearance before MPs in a last-ditch effort to save his political career wasn't routine. Mr. Gachagua was optimistic and had hoped the president had either called to assure him all would be well or to grant him an opportunity to patch up their differences. Remember, Rigathi had actually appealed to the president to forgive him. Okay? However, none of the two was the reason the president called. Instead, it took less than a minute for the president to pass his message to his deputy. At the end of the call, it was clear to Mr. Gachagua that he was on his own. So it means the president called him, used 1 minute to pass his message. What do you think the president told Mr. Gachagua? What do you think he told him? For me, number one, I think the president just relayed to Gachagua his decision to support the impeachment. He did elaborate. Maybe that's why the phone did last 1 minute. Boss, how are you? I'm okay. Tomorrow, I'm supporting the impeachment. So if you can convince those guys not to impeach you, go ahead. But for me, I'm supporting it. So I want to believe that's exactly what happened. Because what can you explain? 1 minute, phone ended, Rigathi being impeached the next day. I'm told William Ruto was literally calling each and every member of parliament to confirm whether they'll be voting for the impeachment. I spoke to one of the members of parliament and he told me, Lee, for him, when he went to bed, when he woke up, 10 missed calls from the president. And when he went to parliament, because for him, he had decided to vote no. When he went to parliament, Oscar Sudi just came where he was. Kidogo kidogo ndio huyu. So at the end of the day, he realized that the war was bigger than he thought. So maybe the president just wanted to rail to the deputy. For me, I'm going to support this. So do what you want. Number two, I think Ruto also wanted Rigathi Gachagua to stop that State of the Nation address. Remember, that is what spoiled for Rigathi Gachagua. If you listened to that proceedings, the parliamentary proceedings, most members of parliament were very bitter. And I think Ruto, being the president, had gotten some intelligence of what Rigathi Gachagua was going to say. And he really wanted Rigathi to stop it. So when Rigathi went ahead and spoke about everything, so maybe Ruto decided, now you are on your own. So for me, I think that's the thing. Ruto told him, boss, don't proceed with that address, State of the Nation address. Rigathi akamwambia, no, tukutane. I'm facing the MPs. And lastly, I think based on the tone and the 1 minute, maybe the president just told his deputy, I'm the boss. You'll know me. We know Ruto. You know who Ruto is. He probably told Rigathi Gachagua, you will know me. I don't know what you think. What do you think William Ruto told Rigathi Gachagua within that 1 minute? Let's assume he didn't even greet him. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.